Hello, hello. Let me just get everything going real quick. Hopefully that's all good. Hi! I am excited to be back once again. Oh, 1 second. One. There we go. Alright. We're doing this again. Yeah. So if anybody happened to miss the last stream, which I know I'm streaming to nobody, but anybody who missed the last VOD as well, we managed to make it past Roxanne. We beat Roxanne, and but we kind of had a bit of a Pyrrhic victory, uh, which is something I like to use from ancient history, which basically means we won so terribly that we can no longer go on. So even though we managed to beat Roxanne, we lost so many Pokemon in the Roxanne fight and previously that the run was, at least in my estimations, not worth continuing. So we're doing this now. Um, Basically, we're just trying again from the beginning, hopefully having a better run and doing a little better. I'm sure we'll make it. I'm sure it'll be great, but that's the goal at least. Yeah, although we aren't technically, we haven't lost yet, so that is a full thing. I might keep, right now my plan at least is to keep the save file around, just so that if we still have access to that save file, if we want to at some point use it, uh, that would be cool. But I'm imagining that we're not going to, so it's still going to exist. I saved it elsewhere, but we're going to start a new game, and with it, our favorite thing ever gets to continue going along. At this, hopefully at the exact same time, we get to start our timer. There we go. The timer's actually accurate again. Yay. Uh, Honestly, I'm excited about this. I really like Run Bun, but it's been so long since I started my previous run that I'm not sad at all having to do another run at this. I'm sure it'll be great. Alright, Birch, yep. Professor, what do we want to call Pokemon? Perfect, yep. World is widely inhabited by creatures known as Pokemon. We humans live alongside Pokemon, at times as friendly playmates, and at times as cooperative workmates. And sometimes we band together and battle others like us. But despite our closeness, we don't know everything about Pokemon. In fact, there are many, many secrets surrounding Pokemon. To unravel mysteries of an unshaken research, yeah. Alright, and we are. You a boy or a girl? I much prefer the girl in Gen 3. Not because I think both models are good. It switches every generation, whether I prefer the girl or the boy. This one, I think they're both equally good, but I like the boy better as the rival. So I always pick the girl in Gen 3. I think for the first two gens, the boy's better. Gens 3, 4, 5, the girl's better. And then after that, it stops mattering because customization becomes a thing. But at least that's my take on the early games. Alright, name, we're doing just classic, simply O. There we go. Perfect. And there we go. Onwards to another adventure. Alright, are you ready? Yep. Let's get this one, another game started. Also, this makes for a good, easy way to check how long it takes to start a new run. Hopefully the tutorial isn't too long, and if needs to be, I'm just gonna speed this up a little bit. I don't think there's any problem with that. Alright, let's get our run started. Yep, all of the regular things. Yep, tutorializing. Alright, yep, go set the clock. See how quickly we can get through the tutorial. What time is it? Like there. Perfect. Alright, we're gonna miss our dad on TV. Always a classic. I will say, the Gen 3 start is probably, even though it's not the game I've played the most, it's probably the one that I like have the most nostalgia for. Like, I know the Gen 1 start like the back of my hand, but I think the Gen 3 start feels more like the quintessential Pokemon starting. I think that's true more than any other gen, at least that I can think of off the top of my head. Alright, rival's been gotten. What else do we have to do? I think we just go talk to Professor Birch. There we go. And we get to go pick our starter. Luckily, I have one starter in mind. I've never loved Chimchar. I know the Son Goku references and everything are great. And Piplup, while all of the starters are viable in this game, Chimchar is by far the best late game. And taking into account our previous runs, I'm not sure that we're getting there. And you can definitely beat it with whichever Pokemon you want. And I like Turtwig. Turtwig's like one of my top 10 favorite Pokemon, or at least that whole line is. So we're definitely taking Turtwig. Now we just have to fight this Galarian Zigzagoon. Not sure what it's doing here, but we're not gonna worry about it too much. Alright, 50%, perfect, yeah. This first couple of fights should be turbo easy. Just kind of getting through the tutorial. Perfect, perfect. There we go, yep. Oh, there's blood in your veins after all. Oh, yes, take this. Got the Turtwig, let's give it a good name. Alright, what are we gonna name our starter? I know last time we went for Tank, and while we definitely could just keep using that, I'd love to come up with a new name. It's going to eventually be... I know we've had Terror, Tank... What's a good Turtwig name? It's a girl this time. Let's go with Gaia. I think I like that the best. I think that's a fantastic name for our ground, grass ground type starter. Greek goddess. Oh, what is it? I think Gaia's a Greek goddess, if I remember correctly. I don't know if, like, I always forget, like, the distinction between, like, the Titans and the gods and whatever. I'm pretty sure Gaia's a god, though. A goddess. There we go. Perfect, perfect. Yes. Alright, we'll have a couple of gifts. Absolutely. The Endless Candy, one of, I think, the best inventions in any any single ROM hack, and the Repellent. But honestly, both amazing quality of life things. Alright. Let's get out of here as quickly as possible. Make sure to say goodbye to Mom. Let's speed it up a little bit. There we go. And let's just walk over. No fights in this first area that we have to worry about. All we have to go up here is go up here, fight our rival. Let's make sure to use our Endless Candy first. I think it's up to level 12 is our current level cap. There we go. Perfect. I'm remembering correctly. And we get to go fight. All of this is still pretty much tutorial, and there's not really anything to do up until this fight. We don't have we don't have Pokeballs yet. We don't have any extra encounters to grab. We're just starting off. Alright, Pokemon Trainer would like to battle. Torch it, perfect. I think we just, like, bite it 7 times in a row. Or once. I forget how much the early levels matter. Alright, well that was, you know, a close fight for our great rival, but I think it was maybe a little easy. go. Perfect, perfect. Like even if you just got it, I got the feeling that absolutely we are going to do amazingly. Let's pick up everything that we can real quick. I think we grab the, if I remember from this guy over here, I think we get the fishing rod. Yeah. Give you one of my fishing rods. Perfect. And there's only one fishing rod in this game. I will say I appreciate that. Only having one fishing encounter table is nice. Otherwise, you just get so many encounter tables for every body of water. Alright. Now we leave. Let's speed it up a little bit. Until we get running shoes. We're just kind of here. Alright, and we're still going to avoid any patches of grass until we get Pokeballs. We can have our first encounter actually be our first encounter. Come on. Alright. There we go. Now we're going to get the Pokedex, and we should get some Pokeballs. I think like 20 of them to start. Yeah. Plenty to catch all of the Pokemon in our first couple of encounters. Alright, now we go talk to Mom. I think Mom's going to stop us on the way out, but either way. There we go. And we get the running shoes. That should be just about everything. And Pokenav. There we go. And now I think tutorial is over. Perfect. Let's go make sure that our Pokemon's at 100% health and everything, and then let's start catching our encounters. And we also get a second to take a look at what we want our encounters to be. I know that right away in Old Town, there's nothing to, like, do. We just get our encounter. I think the ones that we want the most are probably Fletchling. Maybe, a Growlithe. Especially if we can get Intimidate. That would be great. And I think most of the other encounters are pretty much equal. I think those are the top two that we really want. Let's see. What do we get? Ponyta. Definitely alright. Not great. It's going to drop off as we get into the game, but a fire type, I'm never going to turn my nose up at it. Alright. We're just going to... We're too over-leveled, so we're just going to throw Pokeballs at this thing. Growl, sure. Zero problem. Perfect, perfect. Oh, come on. Come on. Stomp. That shouldn't do too much damage. Oh, come on now. Alright. Just get in the ball. It'll be great. You're gonna go on a great adventure. I'm going to try and keep you all alive this time. There we go. Perfect. First Pokemon caught. If anybody in chat ever wants to be named after a Pokemon, speak up. I loved trying to get as many viewers into as many Pokemon named after as many viewers as possible, but I don't know you're here if you don't speak up, so let me know. Or if you have an idea for a name, even if you don't want it to be named after you. Anything works. While I wait for that to get through for a second, what do I want to name this thing? Herm. What is a good Ponyta or Rapidash name? I think, unless I'm going to give one last chance for anybody in chat, but if nobody has any names in chat, I think we're going to go with, as this is not a particularly strong horse, I really like Haru Urara, especially because the horse has just passed away, and it became an internet meme. Hopefully, in this game, Haru will have much better chance. Is that gonna fit? Urara? Yeah. Much better chance at winning. go. Also this time, there we go. Alright. Heal the Pokemon real quick. We're gonna get our Ponyta up to, like, level... I don't really think there's anything to do here. I think next we catch our route... What is it? 101 encounter? And I don't think there's anything else that, like, we can... There's no use in, like, waiting to catch our 101 encounter. So, from Oldale, we got a Ponyta. From Route 101, what are we getting? Alright. Something great. Something great. Bunnelby. An extra ground type isn't going to be super useful, but I don't think it's bad. Alright. I think we just immediately... Yeah, we're going to super kill this thing if we attack it. So we're just going to start throwing balls once again. Hopefully, come on, Bunnelby. It's going to be a great adventure. You're going to have... Someday you're going to be earthquaking like a boss. It's going to be great. Just come on. Please. Oh. Alright, come on. There's not really much to do in the early game. It's just catching our encounters, seeing what we got. Nope, that's not helpful. Come on. 1, 2, 3, and catch. Hey, it worked. Alright. That's 2 encounters so far. I don't think we've gotten the best encounter possible. I think one of the birds might have been better on this route. But not a bad encounter. Nickname to the captured Bunnelby. Again, if anybody in chat wants to be named after this, I think we actually already have a viewer that has pre-ordered the first bunny of every run. So I think this is Mixie. Even though they are not here at the moment, I'm sure they'll appreciate it if they ever drop by. There we go. Alright, let's heal up real quick and catch our couple... We've got a couple of encounters left. I think we get a full team of 5 before our first mandatory fight. So what do we have next up? I think next up we've got our encounter up here, which is 103. Now, let me check the 103 encounter table. If I remember correctly, it's much better to get a water encounter here, but I might be misremembering. So let me pull up the encounter table real quick. Or like the proper encounter table. Because we've got, let me see if I can switch here. We've got the mini encounter table here, but it's not as helpful as the real proper one. So let me see real quick. Oh, where did I set it? It's in Documents, Run Bun, and not Pokemon locations. That's what we needed. Alright, let's put that up. There we go. So on Route 103, we can get this from the grass. But because we've already got a really good grass type, I don't think we need another one. I think the water types are actually better here. Especially if we can get... Yeah, Lotad is good, Chinchou is fine, electric type would be good. Skrelp was decent in our last one, and Tentacool is pretty good. I think that that's pretty, like, just good all around, so let's fish on 103. And then we'll grab some more Pokeballs and move along. We've got to go to our bag. Register. Perfect. Come on. On the hook, perfect. What do we get? Skrelp. Alright. Alright, once again, we're gonna go just start throwing Pokeballs at it. Again, if anybody ever wants to be named after anything in chat, you're more than welcome. There we go, smoke screen. That's fine. Alright, so kind of an interesting starting lineup. I'm not in love with the team, but I'm not disliking it either. I'm really hoping for a bird from our 102 encounter. That would be helpful, I think. Especially if we could get like a Starly. I think Starly or Starly or Rookidia, both are really good. We haven't gotten a Nerve Pokemon, I don't think. I'll have to double check the abilities here in a minute. But I know a Nerve can be very good for the first boss. Just because the Execute's got Harvest, eating the berry over and over is very good at low levels. Okay, there we go. We got the Skrelp. Perfect, perfect. Alright, Skrelp stat was added. Mock Kelp. You have a nickname to the Skrelp? Yes. What are we going to call you? I'm gonna give it a minute once again. If anybody in chat ever wants to be named after a Pokemon, feel free to speak up. Otherwise, we've got to come up with a good name here. Herm. How are we feeling? I do like Skrelp and Dragalge. What would be a good name? We've got our Skrelp. It's alright. Because it's going to be Dragalge, it's poison water. I just think it's a very fine Pokemon. It's one of my personal favorites. I love Skrelp and Dragalge, both of them. But I don't have a good name. I think because unfortunately I'm the only one in charge of naming things at the moment, so we just have bad puns. That's my only skill. So we've got Mary, but spelled wrong, but spelled right. Hi, Mixie. Hello. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well tonight. I'm all good. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. We're starting a new run because while we didn't lose our previous run, but we lost so many Pokemon winning that we had to restart. So we're doing that again, and we're just going through the early game, catching all of our Pokemon. I think you've missed a couple of our first encounters, although we do, because you had called it last time, we do have Mixie in our party as the Bunnelby. As you currently have dibs on any bunny Pokemon that we catch, which isn't very many, but it can happen right away in the run. So you are here with us, helping us win. Hopefully, you better do good. There we go. All right. There we go. Oh. No, but what's all been going on with you recently? Some Pokeballs. There we go. Let's get a whole bunch. I don't really have anything else to spend the money on at the moment. There we go. Perfect. Come again? Yeah. Alright. And now we've got our encounters on 102. Alright. There we go. Something good? Starly. Starly's great. That's actually one of the best Pokemon we can get here. Hopefully it gets Intimidate. I don't remember... Okay, one sec. Let me bring this up now. One second. Starly can have Keen Eye and then always gets Intimidate. So this thing is a guaranteed Intimidate for us. Okay, I couldn't remember if it had 2 abilities or not. Just playing Borderlands 4 with friends? Oh, fair. I've seen it. I never was into the Borderlands games. But it looks fun. At least from everything I've seen. It's a cool game, at least. Tackle. There we go. Come on. Let's catch a Starly. Oh, that would be so great. Oh, yes. Okay, we have to keep this. Okay, the run is good now. The run has went from decent to good immediately upon capturing the Starly. Intimidate's great. Intimidate's so good. When do we get our Intimidate? Level 34, so that's kind of late, but it's fine. Or, no, we can get Intimidate as soon as we get a Staravia, so that's level 14. So that's really quickly here we get Intimidate. Oh, that's huge. Okay, sweet. Staravia. What do we want to call the Starly? It's going to be a Starly, Staravia, Staraptor. What is a good name here? Something... Alright, it's always going to be a star. Something. Alright. My immediate thing is to go, like, make it, like, a boy band member, like an idol, because it wants to be a star. That's where my mind's going, so I was gonna go Saja Boy. Just generic, because I don't remember any of their names after watching that movie. Good movie. But I feel like that's a very... that is so disconnected from Starly's actual... anything actually having to do with Starly. I got it. Simply Dat Bird. I always feel weird about naming. I don't wanna name too many Pokemon after me. That feels like very narcissistic. I don't want to. I've already got my character named after me. If I just end up with like a whole team of Simply Pokemon, I feel like that. It makes me look like I am very, very impressed with my own name. But I do. There we go. I think I really like Saja Boy, just because I think I like that. Have you seen, Mixie, have you seen K-Pop Demon Hunter? Is that what it's... Yeah, that's what it's called. It's got a long name. Yes, there we go. I went to go see it. They had it in theaters for a second as like a sing-along event. That was fun. I went to go see it in theaters with my little sister, because she was also super into it. And that was a good time, for sure. Alright. Alright, let's go level up our whole team. Get everybody fully healed up, and let's start planning for our first. Your sisters love the movie? Yeah. It's a great movie, in fairness. I was surprised. It's not a perfect movie. There are definitely things I would change. Mostly making it longer so that it has time to deal with all of the cool ideas that it has. But I think that's pretty much everybody's opinion. Wish it was longer. No, it was great though. I was very surprised that I feel it's kind of just like shadow dropped. Like there was no like marketing until after the movie already started doing very well. But I'm glad that it did well anyways, because I got to see it and it was great. Alright. Leveling up all the Pokemon. Alright, we're gonna speed this up. There we go. Everybody's getting all the levels. Mixie, you're learning all of the moves. Double slap. Okay. go. Come on. Just said that the boy still died. I thought he was going to join the girl. Yeah. I think it was originally, like, planned to be that. Like, that it wasn't planned for him to die, but I think that ended up being the thing. Or maybe it was the plan that he was to die. I know that they were going to be, like, less, like, up in the air about if they were or weren't. Acid. Oh, do we want poison? So we've got water gun, feint attack, smoke screen, acid, smog. I don't like 90% accuracy. I think smog is bad. I think acid is better. Yeah, smog is bad. So says I. Yeah, I was definitely sad about that, but I think, I don't know. Still, it was great. Movie. Aerial Ace. Ooh, that's really good. That's actually, Aerial Ace is really good. Okay. There we go. Heal everybody up, and then let's take a look at what our first fight's gonna look like. Perfect. Let me save real quick, because then I can port over all of the Pokemon directly into the calculator, and that makes my life much easier. Already saved. If you save now, that other save files, including items, Pokemon, will be entirely lost. Yes, I've already backed up the file elsewhere. It won't be lost. You're lying to me. You don't know where I've saved my files, game. There we go. Alright. So now we've just got to run this. Alright. Showdown. Yeah, export it to Showdown. Control-C, Control-V. Perfect. Now we can go over here and we've got each of our Pokemon and all of their IVs. Oh yeah, I didn't look at their IVs and everything yet. Our starter, low HP, good attack, good special attack, good defense, pretty great special defense. This is and fast as can be. This is a very good Turtwig, even if the HP is a little low, but everything else is great. I'm pretty happy about that. What about our Ponyta? How's Haru? No HP, 0. But good stats all around elsewhere. High attack, low special attack, which is going to be unfortunate early on, but it will be fixed once we get a physical fire move. Plus attack minus defense. Oh yeah, what was our same on our Turtwig, plus attack minus defense? Mixie, you are reasonably fast with a speed boosting nature, so that's nice. Lots of HP, no special defense, but that's fine. Pretty good stats all around. Skrelp. Oh, that's not good. It's not terrible. Right, what do we have? Cheek Pouch, Flame Body, Poison Point. Not bad. Not good, but not bad. And then our Starly. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Good IVs could have been helpful there, but good speed, good special attack. I would have preferred the special and regular attack switched. It's got Keen Eye. It's plus speed and minus special attack, though, so that's a good nature. Honestly, no bad natures. No, like, attack, like physical attackers with a minus attack nature. Alright, so how... Let's turn on color coding and see... Okay, yeah. There's... Literally our entire team takes out their entire team. This isn't really one that we need to worry about. How about Ponyta? Does Ponyta kill their entire team? Ponyta might. Ponyta might solo. So I think we're gonna lead Ponyta and then just have our whole team. Yeah, turns out this is not a fight we have to prepare for. Turns out just Haru Urara, in honor of your passing, you are going to get to destroy the enemy team. Alright. Oh, if I can figure out how to get in here. Oh yeah, there's one more thing I wanted to do before I wanted to put in all of our encounters real quick. We got our 102 encounter. Starly's great. This run is already worth it because of the Starly. Alright. I don't remember what your name is. Let's check real quick. This should be Youngster Calvin. Let's go. Easy fights in the early game. I shouldn't say that. Okay, we have to take this fight 100% seriously because every trainer in this game is meant to kill you. Right? Even the Poochyena has quick attack, flinch, sand attack for accuracy nonsense. There we go. Luckily, we can just stomp, and that should always kill. Yep, it sees that we're going to kill it, so it quick attacks. Next out should come the Lillipup. Unless I really don't remember how this game works. Yeah. Lillipup out. I think we just stomp again. Actually, I think Stomp might not have 100% accuracy, so I think we just Ember, because it always two-shots. And there isn't anything for Lillipup to do. Yeah. Easy peasy. And then we stomp the bird. We might kill it in one, but we might not. Yeah. No. Unnerve, we can't eat berries, that's fine. We didn't get any Pokemon with Unnerve, I'm realizing that now. So that could be a problem. Unnerve is really good against the Execute coming up at the end of this. Ooh, Flinch, nice. Well, we're just gonna Ember then. There we go. We're getting good luck when we don't need it, which is always a little scary, but it's fine. I'm sure it'll end up great. There we go. Let's go back heal and double check what our next fight's gonna look like. Alright, that's one down. It's a little scary how good I've gotten at the beginning of this game. Or at least not good, but how much I've memorized the beginning of this game, because you know that it means I've failed a lot. Alright. So we're all healed again. What are we doing now? Let's go back to the calculator. What's our next fight look like? It's the... Oh yeah, it's the bugs. Starly should kill all of them. Yeah, Starly outspeeds and kills all of them. In 2 shots? But this first one could 2-shot us, but we're faster by a good margin, so yeah. We 2-shot. Pin Missile, let's assume max hits, just because why not? No, and yeah, Starly still destroys. Alright. He's... Starly, Saja Boy, explain why you were briefly at the top in the world on... I think they were briefly, like, #1 boy band. Which is really funny for a fictional boy band to be the #1 boy band. There we go. Let's fight you. Easy peasy. Alright. Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace on a starting mon is very good. Aerial Ace is a very strong move, and it just kind of walks through the early game if anything's weak to flying. There we go. We need to keep the Starly alive for Brawly. That's going to be our main goal. Sturdy should mean it survives on 1. Even Pin Missile at max attack crits shouldn't kill us. There we go. Oran Berry, that's not going to make the difference. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so 3 hits. Not very fast. Yeah. Only 3 hits, average, perfect. Aerial Ace once again. Honestly, Aerial Ace quick attack on this Pokemon, and it's already naturally pretty fast. I think this thing's gonna probably be our star for a minute. Sizzlipede also gets one shot by Aerial Ace. Perfect. Alright, another easy fight. we go. Alright, perfect. Let's go back and heal and prepare for our next fight. There we go. Should be pretty much equally as easy. We lead with Starly again. Easy peasy. We just have to make sure that we're paying attention in the early fights, but they're not actually difficult. Which is nice. Alright. Make sure we've got the right Pokemon out front. Yep, Saja Boy's out front. Just as a quick what our plan is, we've got Starly to take out the Go-Goat. Ariel, yeah. One-shots the Go-Goat. Then we... Let's see. I assume next coming out should be the Psyduck, because it does more damage. But it could be either, because neither outspeed and neither are doing much damage. And I think if we they low roll, high roll, it could be either of them. Either way, if the Litleo comes out, we go to Skrelp, and then Skrelp also doesn't take any damage against the Psyduck, and if we need to, we can switch to Turtwig. There we go. So, another fight that should be easy. Again, if I remember correctly, the first 3 are very easy, and then after that, that is all of the easy fights in this entire game. There we go. Do I remember where the items are? No, not really. I'll have to check that in a minute. Yep, we've got a fight right there with you. Alright, how many do we get here? 39 Oran Berries, yes. I forget how many Oran Berries you get. 54 Pecha Berries. There we go. Perfect. We can't plant berries in this game, but that's fine. What do you say again? That's fine. Alright. Let's go do our fight. Starly should be out front. Yep. Alright. Let's do this again. But I don't remember if this girl is the one with, like, the Jigglypuff, I think? And that fight can be... I think that it's a Jigglypuff with a Tract. And that fight can be mildly scary. Alright, Aerial Ace. One shot. Perfect. Alright. Perfect. So Litleo comes out. We can Aerial Ace here, even if it goes for workup. There isn't really any reason not to switch to Mitzes, but I don't think going for a single Aerial Ace is going to be a problem, because this thing can't hurt us hardly. There we go, Oranberry, that shouldn't matter. Headbutt, sweet. Yep, even the crit there wouldn't have mattered. Maxroll crit, we were not in danger. Same thing here. Alright. And then quick attack. Alright. Now comes out the Psyduck, which I think gets destroyed by Gaia the Turtwig. So we'll switch like that. There we go. Bubble Beam. Shouldn't do hardly anything to us. Perfect. And then we just absorb. Which should do almost like all of their health. Ooh, crit for so easy win. The crit was actually the difference between it surviving and dying, but we were definitely fine either way. Alright, well that's another one down. 3 fights going. It's only been like, what, 15 minutes since we've started fights? If only the whole game could go this quickly. Alright, now we go back and heal, and also I think this is the first time we actually have to plan a fight. If I remember this one correctly, it's a bunch of RNG. But it should be fine. No, it's not that one quite yet. Oh, this is the nonsense fight. Alright. So this fight is 2 metronome users, which is real mean. Whoever designed this fight, how dare they? That's a mean fight for sure. Let's see. What can do the most right away? Stomp. Is Stomp 100% accurate in this game? Hi, Sia. How are you doing? We have started a new game. So far, we've gotten through all 3 of the only easy fights at the entire game so far. We've got a decent team so far. Most honestly, Saja Boy here is carrying our ability with turning into a Starly at level 14 with Intimidate. And other than that, we've got pretty good Pokemon so far. You're doing good? Glad to hear it. But so far, no, our run's going decently, at the very least. Right now we're planning our next fight, which is one of the early fights that is real mean, because it's just 2 metronome users. Which is, you know, real unfortunate to have to plan for at this point in the game. But what can you do? We're just going through now and figuring out what does the best. How fast is this thing? We can outspeed... Alright. We can probably 2-shot with Ponyta and outspeed the very first one. What else can... Anything else 2-shot easier? Skrelp can always 2-shot. Okay, so Skrelp out front with Acid. And then... how do we deal with the Spinda? It's a normal type. I don't really have anything in particular good. It's going to Fake Out turn 1, so we can switch something in that can take the Fake Out well and then outspeed kill. I'd love something that can outspeed and kill it in 2 hits. That is not a thing that exists, though. So I think we... What do we even do? Switch to Starly and try and, like, just Aerial Ace 3 times. I do not love. It's got Berry Juice. What does the first one have? They both have Berry Juice. Oh, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult, so we probably do need... Skrelp should still do it in 2, but it's probably going to be 3 hits from anything to kill it. Or at least the Spinda. What can survive? What's the tankiest? Probably Turtwig with Bite. Oh, the fact that we're just a little bit too slow, even with perfect IVs, is unfortunate. What's better here? Double Slap doesn't really have any secondary. I don't know, I think just... Rapidash is really fragile. Actually, no, not at this level. Everything's fragile at this level. It's not really more fragile than anything else. Yeah. I think Ponyta to try and deal with the metronome of the Spinda. Okay, that's our plan. There isn't really anything that we can do this early in the game. Just give everybody berries. Try and hope that Metronome doesn't completely destroy this run right away. Alrighty. Oop, nope. There we go. Perfect, perfect. Alright, everybody's got berries. We're all set to go. Save real quick, and let's go do our next fight. I'm hoping to get all the way through the very first boss and see how if we can get farther than that. That would be great. I don't know how much farther we'll get, but at least maybe to Steven's room would be the goal for today. We've got the right Pokemon out front, right? We need Skrelp out front. Okay. Okay, let's do this. Come on. Easy fight, easy fight. Just no explosion or self-destruct on the metronome. We can deal with pretty much with many other things. Easy, yes, insofar as there's nothing we can do to change the outcome. Guaranteed? Absolutely not. This is very much a luck fight. But I'm sure it's going to be great. Alright, come on. We are speed tying, I believe. No, we're just faster than the Swirlix. Maybe we can it'll just happen immediately. We get berry juice. That should be basically up to full at this level, yeah. Metronome? Nothing good, though. Mega Drain. Oh, come on. Luckily, we're poison type, so that doesn't do too much, but still. Fairy Wind? No, we are speed tying. No, is Fairy Wind a priority move? Is that what that is? Yeah. Alright. One more acid. Doom Desire. What does that mean? What is Doom Desire? Please don't be like a move that kills me if I kill you. What is that? I don't even know what that does. That sounds so ominous. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I looked. Okay, Doom Desire is a 2-turn move. Doom Desire will deal damage. If the opponent switched Pokemon in the meantime, the damage dealt will depend on the special defense of the Pokemon the move hits, not the Pokemon it was originally targeted at. Alright, so in 2 turns, 140 base power steel special type move is going to be coming into us. Okay, so I don't even know what to do about that. Okay, calculator time. So it just used Doom Desire. So let's pretend that that's going to hit. How much is that going to do? Lots of damage to Bunnelby because it's super effective. Everybody else can... Ponyta takes it surprisingly well. Starly doesn't, so don't bring Starly in. Skrelp actually does take it very well. Okay, what's the exact timing? 2 turns after it's selected. So this is 1 turn after it's selected. So we won't get hit this turn, we'll get hit next turn. So we're going to take a Fake Out and a Steel... Doom Desire. Here. So we need something that can survive both a Fake Out into Ponyta, let's assume 20.5%, and a Doom Desire. From this, which should do another 11%. So Ponyta's still our choice here. That's such nonsense. Fake Out Flame Body? Flame Body's huge, actually. We can just, switch around now. Although I don't want to give... We're going to see... Okay, so at the end of this turn, we're going to be hit by Doom Desire, which will do... What was the max roll? What was the max, like, damage? Doom Desire... The roll on Ponyta was 4 damage, which another 5, so it could be a possible 6 extra damage we're taking this turn, but that shouldn't matter. Ponyta's surprisingly tanky for this level, so I think we stomp this turn, take the damage with Haru, and then switch to something else. Metronome. Psywave. Ooh. Yep. It's hurt by its burn, and then Doom Desire. Okay, so and we got the berry juice off. That's helpful. Okay. Doom Desire, just don't do too much damage. Okay, 4 damage, so high roll, but no crit. Alright. And then we get our Oranberry off. 24. How much do we want to stay in here? Do we want to just keep stomping for a turn? Even for a turn? Okay, if we do one more stomp plus a turn of burn, that should do roughly 50%. Can we kill it after that? After a switch? We can kill it after that. Which I like. I think we stay in for one last turn here with Ponyta. I think we're going to be in equally the same position if we switch. And now we switch after this. Slam. Alright. And now we're low enough that I think it does matter. And we switch to who's somebody really tanky. We just need... Let's see. I prefer to outspeed. How does Bunnelby take the damage? Bunnelby doesn't take damage very well. Starly doesn't really either. Starly actually takes damage pretty poorly. We could switch to Skrelp. Skrelp actually takes damage very well, but doesn't do much damage. How much damage were we taking there with Slam? Let's just see, how much does an explosion do? Explosion turbo kills the entire box. Okay. How about self-destruct? Self-destruct also turbo kills the entire box, so there's no playing around that. We could go for Stomp here and just hope that we get a high roll, but it has to be like max roll plus burn. Is that worth it? We haven't been taking much damage every time. I think we're going to stay in one more turn, Stomp, because we really haven't been taking much damage. Metronome. And if it was going to kill Ponyta, it's going to kill something else. Sweet. A move that fails. And burn, and now we're faster. So we just Stomp. Alright. Scary fight, but we did it. Perfect, perfect. Awesome. Alright, now we get to go back, heal, and start preparing for our next fight. Also, I know I had the calculator open for that whole fight, but it was necessary because all of the moves in that fight are so random. Alright. What is our next fight? This... Triathlete Mikey. What do you do? Alright, 1 second. Let me just pull up. Okay, so our next fight is going to be against Triathlete Mikey. Where is that fight? That should be on Route 104. what is our... So I think we get 104 encounters now. Also, how do we do against this? So Krabby should be pretty dead. Let's see, how does... Oh, yeah. Turtwig destroys Krabby. So Krabby destroys Turtwig. How do we do against Clobopus? What is that? Fighting? Really? Does... I'm surprised Starly doesn't kill Clobopus a lot better. And then Yanmega. Okay. So we have to be turbo careful about this Yanma. Because it's got Iron Ball, which is having its speed, but it's going to double every turn. So this thing has Speed Boost and Sonic Boom, which just does a flat 20 damage every turn. So we need to kill this thing incredibly quickly. Yeah. What two-shots it? It looks like pretty much everything two-shots it. Can anything... But everything gets two-shot by it. But luckily, everything takes just over half health. Yeah, and it will never crit. So, and actually, Starly's a pretty good counter to it, because we can Aerial Ace. We can take one on the switch in, and then have an Oran Berry and get back up. Aerial Ace, and then we've got Quick Attack to finish it off. So Starly actually counters Yanma, as long as it's holding a berry. So we don't have to worry about that. We've actually got a hard counter to the Yanma, which is actually pretty rare on an early run. So yeah, Starly, is that true? Sonic Boom does 32 damage. We heal... Wait. Yeah. No, so Sonic Boom always does 20 damage, which gets us down to 12, and then we heal up to 22, and it will never not do that amount of damage. So we can Aerial Ace Quick Attack and always kill the Yanma, even on switch in. Because we can always take 2, and it doesn't have priority. So terrifying, but Starly wins. Alright. So what do we deal with? How do we deal with the rest? Clobopus is destroyed by pretty much our whole team. We're gonna say probably the best by Skrelp. So Skrelp destroys the Clobopus. We lead Turtwig into Krabby, just because we can absorb. It's got an Oran Berry, but that's not going to matter because we can do just so much damage. I think we Bite Absorb, just because there's a chance for flinch. I don't think there's any reason not to, but it could go for Aqua Jet, so no, we just Absorb. So Absorb. Where the Yanma's going to come out, Starly hard counters. How much does... No, we take a bunch from Krabby, so that we don't want to have Starly out early. Alright, that line works. Perfect. So let's have our correct Pokemon out front, and give everybody a berry, because anybody who doesn't have a berry immediately dies to that Yanma. Perfect. Alright, let's go. And I don't think we get our Route 104 encounter quite yet, even as we're walking over there. Just because... Yeah, wait, there's a... Okay, we're gonna wait to get that for just a minute. Oh wait, we get to Petalburg first. Okay, so we get to Petalburg, so let's grab that. Found a potion? Okay, well that's not helpful. That's not helpful, game. Alright. Let's heal up here, because there's no reason not to. And then we'll go get our 104 first battle, and then we can get our encounters. Perfect. We're not getting our Petalburg City encounter, for as long as possible. Because if we can wait till we can surf, we can get like starter Pokemon. And like one of the best Elite Four Pokemon from this little body of water. So we're waiting. Oop. You rookie trainer, you know the Pokemon trainer? Oh, right. First check that kind of gym that's in town. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Okay, speeding up through this. Yeah. I'll check out the gym, fine. Hello. Hi, Dad. There we go. I guess you're gonna become a trainer. Yeah. Dang it, Dad. Oh yeah, Wally. Hi, Wally. You're Wally, right? Stay with relatives, burden turf. Yeah. See, Wally got a Zigzagoon. Nice. Heard that right? Go with Wally and make sure he catches the first Pokemon. Alright, Wally, I believe in you. Kinda. Alright, Wally, walk a little faster. There we go. I think we're a little... There you go. You get to catch your Ralts with your Galarian Zigzagoon. I don't think you're allowed to, like, retreat your Pokemon until after you've caught the Pokemon, Wally, but that's alright. You're still learning the rules. There we go. Cool. Good job, Wally. Now, can you... Ow. You want to become a strong trainer? Here's my advice. Head for the Rustboro City beyond this town. There, you should challenge the gym leader, Roxanne. About that. We're not very good at that yet. I'll do my best, though. Okay, Gym Leader 2 will battle one day. It's only after you become stronger. Sure. Alright. Let's get ready to go to Route 104. Oh, what are you gonna do? Excuse me, let me guess. From the way you're dressed, you're a Pokemon trainer. Well, maybe not. Clothes aren't all that dirty. You're either a rookie trainer, maybe just an ordinary kid. Search for talented traders. Sorry for taking your time. What was that? You don't think I'm talented? How dare you? Alright. Let's save real quick. And then get ready for our fight real quick. "104. I don't think it's this kid. It's the person that's like... Yeah. It's that guy right there. Alright. So... stressed out, but I think we've got this. We've got Turtwig out front, right? Everybody's got their berries. Alright, there's nothing else to do at this point. Alright. You're training for a big event. Your team is not it for a big event. It's a big... Oh, I guess if he's a triathlete. If your big event is the triathlon... That's not a word. Triathlon. That makes sense, then. Oh, we should have gone for Bite. Well, what can you do? Maybe we crit. Nope. There we go. Oranberry. Stomp. Yeah, fair amount of damage, but Absorb. And Aqua Jet, yeah. It goes for all the right things. Oof. And now we Absorb. And now we almost 100% have the Yanma coming out. Alright. Because the Yanma deals more damage than it takes. Yep. There it is. Gosh, it's terrifying. Alright. Well, we could... bite it, just... No, we don't want to bite it because it might Aerial Ace, and that might screw over our plan. We know that we're going to win. We just have to trust that Saja Boy can do this. Which, physically, there isn't a roll that screws us over, and every move is 100% accurate. Even if it's terrifying. Okay, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Sonic Boom, 20 damage, plus Oran Berry, that gets us to 22. Alright, one speed boost, we're still faster, but that doesn't really matter, because we Aerial Ace. Okay. Yanma uses another Sonic Boom, putting us down to 2 health, an extra speed boost, gets its speed up to 26, it is now faster than us, so we very carefully hit Quick Attack, which always does a minimum of 27% damage, which always kills. Oh, okay. Everything's fine now. I'm going to be so careful about not misclicking. Okay. And we're done. What was our plan to kill the Cloudpuss? It was Skrelp, right? Yeah, Skrelp deals damage and doesn't take damage. There we go. All of the celebrating is good. Everything's fine. And we got wrapped, that's fine, or bind. Poison point, nice. Just a little bit of extra damage. We didn't need that, but we'll take it. Alright. There we go. And then Water Gun, I think, does the most damage. Technically, Acid and Water Gun both do the same amount, and Acid has a chance to drop defense, so Acid's better. Or special defense. Rock Smash. Just don't get the defense drop, or whatever it is. Awesome. Why would I even say things? So at -1 defense, how much are we taking? There we go, and it goes for its Oran Berry. I think we just still do... Yeah, 12 plus 6 is... I can only do 18... 12... Well, how much damage has Wrap been doing? Or Bind? 1/8 of our health? Is that what it is, I assume? We've still got our berry, though, on Mary, so we're still fine. Traps the opponent and 1/8, so we can't even switch out any right now, and we've got our berry, so we're fine. Critical hit, nice. Just makes this a little bit easier. There we go, not very effective. We get another defense drop, which is scary. But then we get our Oran Berry, which is the opposite of scary. Alright. Acid one more time, and we outspeed. There we go. That's another fight done, and we have access now to every Pokemon that we can get on 104. Let's take a look at the 104 encounter table now and figure out what we want to get. Alright, and heal everybody up. There we go. Alright, what are we hoping for? Let's pull this up. Also, we'll just have our next... Okay, yeah, it's the Magikarps are next. The choice band Magikarps. Choice banded Focus Sash Magikarps, okay. That fight isn't actually that hard. It looks terrifying, but it's not actually that bad. Yeah. It's fine. I love Choice Band Bounce Magikarp. It's... Honestly, especially because it looks scary, but it's not actually that... bad of a fight, but it is just really funny. Alright, though, while I'm thinking about it, let's bring up the Pokemon location so we can see what our Route 104 encounters might be. Alright. So, 104. I know we can get some decent... The good thing about going for a water Pokemon is that we can get some of the bad encounters out of the way here. But the good thing about... But generally, none of these are great water encounters. And while most of these bug encounters aren't very good, if I remember correctly, Weedle is very, very good. And then Yanmega can be decent. I think that generally we've gone for the water encounter, but I think this time we're going to try and go for this, because I know that, like, Weedle is probably one of the best encounters in the game, because we can get Beedrills really early, and then you can get a Mega Beedrill, which I know is, like, used on Elite Four teams. So as many chances to get Weedle as possible, I think that's a good thing. So I think we're going to go for the grass encounter, which means that we probably could have... Yeah, hopefully it'll be good. It probably means that we could have gotten our encounter before this previous fight with the Yanma, but it's fine. We're going to switch Haru out front because there's nothing in the grass here that really hurts Haru, I don't think. Nothing in here actually is bad. So let's go get our encounter. Route 104 right here. Something good. All right, let's see. Weedle. Paris. Paris kind of sucks, but so do all of the water encounters. So, you know, it's fine. You know what? Maybe there are some uses for Paris that I'm not thinking of, especially early game. Every Pokemon could be good early game, and at some point, Paris could be great. I'm not coping, you're coping. Alright. Well, while we try and just throw Pokeballs at this little bug, if anybody wants to be named after Paris, you're more than welcome to speak up. Anybody's welcome. And I would encourage it. Again, I don't know if you're here in the chat if you don't speak up. But otherwise, if you want to save your naming rights for a mildly better Pokemon, I would understand completely. Alright. Just keep throwing Pokeballs at it. Come on, Paris. Wouldn't it be... I will be that bug. There we go. You can be the bug. There we go. Perfect. There we go, finally. Caught our Pokemon, easy peasy. Nickname to the Paris, yes. I think, because we already have a Mixie, I think we're just going to name it Moon, and then you are cut off from Pokemon, at least until one of them dies. Does that what you'd prefer? Do you prefer you get to, if you've got an idea for the name or however you want it to be, I'm more than willing to hear. There we go. Give that chat a second to catch up. Alright. Amon? I'm willing to do that. But I do not see the vision, so you'll have to explain it to me. Ooh. One sec. Oh. There we go. Amon, I don't care. It's just close enough to Mixie Moon, or to Moon. Sounds cool in my head. There we go. We can take it. We've got Amon the Paris. That's all that matters. Absolutely. Now let's go get Paris healed up and leveled up. Actually, we might not level up Paris, just because there are, you know, times that you want to bait out a Pokemon, so we'll see if we need that. And let's start planning out our next fight. Well, though, we'll save real quick so we can get the Paris in here. Perfect. Save the game. Alright. Now we've got the Paris in. What does this fight actually end up looking like? So we've got this... The bounce Magikarp is... oh my gosh, it does so much damage to Paris at level 5. Good IVs on the Paris, actually. Especially for, like, a early, really high attack. 70 attack, 30 IVs. What do we got? Absorb, so that's a special move. If we can get a decent, like, bug-type attack on Paris, that could actually be good. But let's take a second, but it's not going to be good against the Magikarp, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. So, we've got Ponyta can take the bounce pretty well and stomp. And we outspeed, which is nice. But I don't love it. Bounce. What? Can anything, like, kill this thing really quickly? Alright, so we get outsped, bounce, and we take 20 damage, again, so we get a maximum of 30 no, 20 damage because we can't be crit. So we can take up to 20 damage, and then we can absorb for, what is that, half of the, I always forget how much of the healing we get. It's like a third of the healing? Is that correct? No. Whatever. This amount of recovered. So about 10 recovered. Can we kill it in 2 then and survive? Can we survive 2? So we'll take, let's just assume 2 max rolls, so we take 40 damage. Between that, let's assume min roll, max roll, so we'll, we won't have Oran Berry. Do we heal enough with Absorb to survive that? To survive a 17 and then a 20. Yes, we always do, because Absorb should heal, like, if we're dealing 20 and healing a little less than half of that, we're healing 8. So no matter what roll we get, Turtwig 1v1's the Magikarp, the first one. And then the second one can't do damage, and we one-shot it. But it's got Focus Sash Flail, so we have to be careful about that. Let's assume it's at 1 health. How much does Flail do? A fair bit, but we'll have healed all of that damage. And we're slower, so it won't use Flail right away. Alright. We're good. Turns out, Turtwig just solos this fight. Also, randomly, why are you carrying a Pokeball? You don't get the... Oh, big mushroom. Weird. What does that do? Is that just, like, money? Yeah, that's just extra money. Cool. I guess we've got some cash on our Paris. Our Paris made us rich. Alright, let's go take out these Magikarp. Which really doesn't sound like it should be difficult, but it really is. Alright, we go down here. And if I remember correctly, it's this fisherman. We've got all of our people out. I don't think we want berries on everybody just because there's no reason. Let's do this. Tough looking Pokemon has magical quality to it. It surely looks tough. Yes, it does. Yeah. Alright. What do we got here? Magikarp. We just absorb. Bounce. Oh yeah, it's a 2-turn move, so that's not... I'm not too worried about that. Then we just absorb. Yep. Okay, so that was max roll paralyzed. Shoot. Okay. So that's one of the things that can go wrong. Okay, but we go through the paralysis. And the max roll is actually good for us. Okay. The paralyzed sucks, but the max roll is great, because that means it procced our Oran Berry. Because there were some rolls that don't proc the Oran Berry. That was going to be our worst case scenario. This one, there's no reason to switch out right now, because It literally doesn't help us. Alright, hopefully we get full parried this turn. Nope. Okay, now hopefully we don't get full parried. I don't know, reverse psychology? I'm just gonna hope it doesn't happen. 2 max rolls, nice. Ooh, okay. So now we're definitely dead. So now we have to switch. What do we switch to? Calculator time. Okay. So we get a free switch, which is nice, because it's a 2-turn move. What do we 2-turn into? What deals good with the second one? Skrelp, how does Skrelp do? Skrelp deals great with the second Magikarp. Yeah, Skrelp deals with the second Magikarp really well. Nobody else really does. Yeah, everybody else deals with it poorly. So the Skrelp would be good to have against the second Magikarp now that Tank is kind of in. I'm gonna wait a second to see if you're back up. Okay. Everything went wrong. Hi, back up. My entire computer crashed. Which is very nerve-wracking. And especially sucks because we were in the middle of a fight. So now we have to redo that. But what can you do? I guess. Hi though. Welcome back. Everything is bad. Everything is fine. Well, that's unfortunate. Luckily we saved, like, right before... Oh, and our timer's messed up. Whatever. I'll have to... Let's start the time. Let me start the timer right now, and then I'll just have to add up the times. Every time that I use the timer, it breaks. The world doesn't want my timer to work. Alright, who do we need out front? We need Gaia out front. And we need to take the... What was it? Take this from you. That was everything that we did. Alright. Save again. Well, that's unfortunate that we lost everybody, but... I don't know. At least if any fight the game was going to crash on, at least it's an easy one like that. It is unfortunate, though, that, like, we were having bad luck and then it crashed, and now, like, technically that's good for us that it crashed. I don't like that. Yeah. There's not a thing I can do about it, but, like, we hadn't lost any Pokemon and we weren't going to. But still it sucks. Still it sucks. Alright, we're just gonna jump right back into it, because there isn't anything else to do about it, but... is what I say to that. Alright. Let's see. Fisherson, so no Magikarp. Alright. Well, we got a mix of lucky and unlucky, so we'll see how it goes this time, I guess. Spraying up. We'll just be right back to where we were. You know what? Hopefully we get... Okay. Okay. You know what? You know what? Never mind, game. You give me even worse luck on the reroll. Honestly, I'm fine with that. If we're going to be screwed over, at least we're screwed over at, like, 100%. You know? even worse luck. Technically, it's not even... Oh, but it missed. Okay, I guess we ended up with better luck, but I'm gonna say roughly equal luck. Alright. I think it's gonna go for Hydro Pump, so we go for Absorb. We could start getting flailed pretty hard, but I think it's better now that we're at much higher health to just keep Gaia out. Absorb, yeah, that should get it down to Focus Sash, which makes Flail really strong, but not... Yeah. Hung on using its Focus Sash, perfect. Alright. And Flail should do, like, 4... Yeah. Alright, well, there we go. We are immediately back to where we were pre-crash. There we go. Perfect. Let's go heal immediately and then deal with that. Alright. Well, now we've got that. And now we can... What does our next fight end up looking like? Let's see. Wait a second. Okay, yeah, everything has to reload. Alright. Our next fight, this is the one with all of the attract and, like, thunder wave. Yeah, this nonsense. Jigglypuffs and Chinos, yeah. Ooh, actually, Ponyta's looks like it's going to be really good in this fight, just because, yeah, it walls every Pokemon, but not super well. Let's see, Phanpy is destroyed by any Pokemon, especially, yeah, Turtwig. Not really Ponyta. Skrelp, how does Skrelp do? Skrelp, okay, yeah. So Skrelp deals with the Phanpy. How does Skrelp deal into Jigglypuff? Not great. No, it does pretty well. We could get... Cheap viewers, no! No cheap viewers here, only quality viewers. I will say, is that showing up? Is my stream thing broken? Because, is my chat window broken? Would anybody type one thing in chat real quick? Because I haven't been paying attention. Is my chat window broken? No, it isn't broken. Thank you, Mixie. Sometimes it's a little temperamental. Alright, so we've got... Acid should kill Jigglypuff. No, it's got an Oranberry, so we'll need 3 acids to kill Jigglypuff. It's going to try and Thunder Wave attract all of that nonsense. It's going to try and use hacks. We're not too worried about that because it can't deal much damage to us. What do we have against the Minccino, though? Because... So, Skrelp deals with these two very well. Especially the Jigglypuff. I think Skrelp for the Jigglypuff. I like Turtwig against the Minccino, just because we can absorb and heal a little bit. No, but this does... Bite's pretty good. Stomp is pretty good. Yeah, I think we lead Turtwig with an Oranberry. Did we actually use up any of our Oranberries that time? Okay, let's just, again, re-give Oranberries to everybody. I know that we're using kind of a lot of them, but there just isn't really anything else to use them for early game. Also, let me check, how does Paris do at level, what is our cap, 12 right now? Fine, not really better than anybody else. Yeah, not better than anybody else. Let me just check Skrelp's level up moves real quick, see if maybe we get like a really good move in a second here. or not Skrelp, Paris. Paris is going to get Stun Spore, Poison Powder, Bug Bite, and Bug Bite. So Bug Bite matters. How does Bug Bite do? Bug Bite actually does a lot to Minccino, and we're not getting hurt by Swift too much. I think we Paris Bug Bite. I think we level up our Paris and then use Bug Bite against the Minccino. So we lead Paris, and then... Alright. No, wait, that's what we... Yeah. So we lead Paris, and then... Yeah, Stun Spore, Poison Powder, that's fine. And then the Minccino should be done for. And then... What comes out after that? I'm just gonna save constantly in case my stream crashes again. There we go. Alright. So... Okay, we've saved. Let's port the new Paris over correctly. Oh wait, we've got to load the Lua again. Everything. All of the things. Control C, Control V. Should just be a better Paris now. Alright. Plus special effect, minus special defense. Not a good thing on a Paris, but not bad. Not terribly, at least. Alright. Paris out front. And we're just gonna have to... This fight is just, like, hacks and dealing with, like, out-damaging the Pokemon. And because we've got Oran Berries on everybody, we can out-switch them. Because none of the Pokemon are doing much damage. They've just got a bunch of, like, Attract, Thunder Wave, all of the nonsense moves. Alright, talk to the old lady. Chesto berries, perfect. Grab all of our extra berries. Cherry berries, perfect. None of these are... we could put the cherry berries on our Pokemon, but I think that it's better... I don't think it generally wants to go for paralyzing if we're not faster, and we don't have any Pokemon faster. So I'm just gonna worry about out damaging with them with the Oran Berries. Alright. We're ready. We're ready. There isn't really much to plan for this fight. We just have to know that, like, Skrelp deals with the Phanpy, or with the Jigglypuff. The Phanpy can be dealt with by anybody. And the Minccino is dealt with by Paris. And we've got switch outs if we need to. I like our odds. Hopefully. Now I've said it out loud. Alright. Something great here. Cindy would like to battle with Minccino. Perfect. So, we're just going to Bug Bite and Bug Bite. Because that has a chance to low roll, high roll kill. Attract, that's fine. You just have to fight through it. And there's nothing we can do against Attract. We just have to get lucky. Fell in love, don't be immobilized. Used Bug Bite, perfect. Alright, more than 50%, so now the Oran Berry goes off. Oh, and Bug Bite steals the Oran Berry, I forgot about that. This was perfect. So now we're definitely... I completely forgot that was a thing. I should have been paying attention to that. T-Wave misses, and we get through love, please? Is immobilized by love. Oh, okay. Well, it's going to try and T-Wave again. No, it goes for Swift. That's fine. Just don't be immobilized 2 turns in a row. We can deal with 1. Okay, not too many hacks. Alright, so that's fine. Now what comes out? I imagine it's the Jigglypuff, but... yeah. So now Jigglypuff is out. We don't really do anything to this Jigglypuff with Paris, so let's switch. It's either going to... I imagine it's going to go for Attract, just because it really wants to. And there isn't anything we can do against that, so I think we just switch to Skrelp, Mary, and start dealing with this. Used Attract, yep. That's totally fine, we're ready for that. Okay, and I'm sure it's faster. No, we're actually faster. So now we've got the Skrelp out, and now we just start Acid. It'd be great. Low roll, high roll? Come on. Don't be immobilized. Okay. If we just... Okay, that's good. I think. T-Wave? Okay. We've got to fight through a lot of nonsense to do damage now. But we haven't taken any damage. So at this point it is faster. Yep, round. Okay, fight through the love and fight through the paralysis. Come on, high roll. Slow roll, high roll for the win. Oh, that was super lucky. That was so lucky. Good job, Mary. Okay. Now, next out. Mary is putting in work. Now we've got the Phanpy. How much is the Phanpy doing? And she stands there. Yeah. Phanpy can be doing 10 damage with Stomp to Skrelp. Halved again, 15. Water Gun can do half, so there's no reason to not spend a turn here just trying to Water Gun because we're not going to die, and I think it's going to go for Attract. Yeah. That way we can have a free turn of whatever we switch in dealing with the Phanpy. We're immobilized. I still think we try and fight through it for one turn because we can survive one Stomp. Even if it crits. Oh, we've still got the Oran Berry. We've got a couple Stomps. So we're just going to keep Mary... See if Mary can solo the rest of this here. Come on, Water Gun. No, Mary is in love with this Phanpy. Poison Point, though. That's cool. I don't know if that's going to make any difference on damage rolls, but Mary flinched. Okay, come on. Now we are in range of max roll crit kill. So I think we just switch out to... Let's see. To Turtwig, to take a Stomp, and then we can just deal with that. Perfect. Guy, you've got this. Hurt by poison. And we could also just Poison Stall. That is a full strategy. We are guaranteed to win this fight just by switching around all of our Pokemon. This Phanpy cannot kill our whole team before it dies to poison. Even if we're immobilized by love every turn. Come on, I'd really like to not have to waste any more female Turtwig rare. I know! I was excited about it when we got it. I don't think we've had a female Turtwig yet. But I also forgot Pokemon are gay in this game, yes. Or at least they can be. I think we just assume every Pokemon's bi. I remember I love like going through like the history of games and like that being like accidentally, especially in like old games where you can romance characters, just making everybody bi because it was harder to code to make them straight, so that nobody wanted to code the check. So then there are lots of like really old games and stuff that just didn't because they didn't want to deal with coding it, which I think is the funniest way to have that be a thing. Okay, guy flinched. Come on. Well, this is the last turn no matter what. Wow, we really did get... Like, this team is just like, how many hacks can we have you deal with? All of the RNG on this fight. It's just... The computer's just trying to rely on. Which is quite funny. I do like that every fight is a puzzle or whatever, but that puzzle just being the computer gambling is really funny. Alright. Let's heal everybody up, and now we've got our first boss battle, and which should also be our very first level cap increase. And then... Alright, and I'm just going to save very often right now, because again, apparently my computer needs to be looked at after the stream, so we'll deal with that then. Oh, gosh. There we go. I've also... let's see. What does our next fight look like? I forget. So we've got Carvana out front. Paris? Wow. Paris destroys this Carvana, which is funny. And it, like, destroys. So that's cool. So we've got Carvana out front. And then what? Paris? Ooh. I would really love to have Paris out against the Execute. Because apparently Paris is really good in this fight. Poison Fang. And we're going to Bug Bite and take Rough Skin damage. That's kind of a lot of damage, especially if we get crit. How much damage? Confusion's kind of doing a lot to Execute. But assuming it like tries to Stun Spore or Leech Seed, if we could get Convince Execute to Bullet Seed as we switch into Paris, that would be great. What does that look like? Is there anything that it wants to Bullet Seed instead of Confusion? Bunnelby. It wants to use Bullet Seed on Bunnelby. So if we can have Bunnelby out at some point, and then that'll make it Bullet Seed into the Paris. The fact that Paris is so slow is real unfortunate. But I think we can still deal with it. Because it'll Bullet Seed, and then it will use Confusion. Which is still better. And then we get to Bug Bite and eat its Oran Berry. Does it base it off of Bullet Seed 3-hit damage or 2-hit damage? It bases it off of 3-hit. So we can assume 5-hit, but even that is better than Confusion. As for, I think it bases it off of 3-hit, like what move it'll choose, I think it bases it off of 3, if I remember correctly. What else can deal with this Carvana? Because I'd love to keep my Paris available. Let's see, you can't deal with it very well. You can't deal with it very well. You can't deal with it very well. Okay, actually, only our Paris. Well, we're recovering. I think Turtwig could actually deal with the Carvana just fine, because we absorb and we can't be crit, so even if we get poisoned, we should deal so much with absorb that, like, we go back to full. Yeah. I think Turtwig into the Carvana, then the Krogunk comes out. We need to not let this Krogunk eat the Salackberry. What is the Salackberry? When does it eat it? Raises HP, it's a quarter HP, right? Yeah, berry consumed at 1/4 HP to boost speed, and then that also lets it use Belch. We cannot let Krogunk use its Salackberry. So we need to kill it. We need to make sure that it never gets to 1/4 health. So, against... Although it says, like, this Krogunk always looks scarier in the calculator than it actually is, because it always like, oh, Belch is so scary, but it's never going to use it. So we've got Rock Smash coming out into Starly, which does a little bit too much. No, Skrelp kills it too slowly. Paris doesn't do very well. We could leave, because it's going to Fake Out. Turn 1 it Fake Outs. So we could switch something into a Fake Out. How well does Aerial... No, Aerial Ace Quick Attack, Low Roll, is real bad for us. We need to do... Okay, what is Starly's low roll? 64 damage on Aerial Ace. So I think we're going to use Starly to kill the Krogunk with Aerial Ace. So we need to get it to... Let's see, our low roll is 24 damage. We need to do 13. Somewhere between 13 and... What is 25%? So we need to get it to between... That's a pretty large range. We just have to get it between, what is that, 24 and 9? Anything that gets it between 24 and 9. So we need to do a minimum of 13 damage to the Krogunk and then go to Starly. So actually Ponyta could come in, take the fake out, outspeed, take 1 Rock Smash, even on a crit, and be fine. Yeah, because we stomp, and then we go to Starly, and even though if we're taking the Rock Smash at 50%, that'll only do 75, and then we outspeed an Aerial Ace kill. Alright, so we lead Turtwig, we kill the Carvanha, then Krogunk comes out, so we switch to Rapidash to take the fake out, and then we stomp, and then we take the Rock Smash, and then we switch to Starly and we take the Rock Smash, and then we Aerial Ace kill, and then Execute comes out, and it wants to Confusion. So what do we bring into Confusion? We could bring... No. Do we just go straight to Paris? Because I think we just go straight to Paris, hoping that it tries to Stun Spore or Leech Seed instead, and then we just kill it. Alright, I like this plan the best. As long as everybody's got an Oran Berry, we win. Who needs an Oran Berry? Gaia and Mary. Would it be better for Amon to have... Because Amon's going to come out and might get Stun Spored, and that could be a thing. I think we actually give a Cherry Berry, because that's the only thing that can really wreck this plan. Everybody else needs Oran Berries. You need an Oran Berry. Mary needs an Oran Berry, and then everybody else would rather have an Oran Berry than anything else. Alright, and who's out front? Gaia is. Alright, does anybody see any glaring holes in this plan? Speak now or forever hold your peace. I think that it makes sense, but also sometimes Stun Spore doesn't affect grass types? I don't think so. Oh yeah, so we should be fine against Leech Seed and Stun Spore, right? Is that... Let me check. Let me double check that, but I think you're right. Hits. Is that... I think you're right. Yeah, grass types are immune. Alright. So yeah. Paris is actually a perfect switch in. I forget that Paris is grass type. Good call, though. Yep. Alright. I think we've got a great team. I think we're prepared for this fight. Let's go. All right. Boss time. See if we can't... You know what? I just always want to jinx myself. Every time I get into a battle, I immediately say, good luck, thank you. I immediately start thinking of everything that could go wrong. Or not even could go wrong, I just try and jinx myself. Okay, Absorb. We're slower, so Poison Fang. No. Okay, super effective, that's fine. Oranberry goes off, that's cool. No poison. Okay, no poison is huge. We do Absorb to get back to full, and then Rough Skin. No, Absorb is special, so we don't get Rough Skinned. It goes for Oranberry. So now we've got another turn of basically the same thing. Poison Fang, no poison, please. But you see, why would I say that out loud? Alright. I don't think it matters for this line, but still. Alright. So there we go, guys. Hurt by poison, that's fine. And then we switch to Krogunk. That's what we expect. Now, Krogunk is going to try and use, what did we decide? Is going to try and do Poison Sting here, or Fake Out, because it always wants to go for Fake Out if it can, and Poison Sting doesn't see a kill. So it goes for Fake Out, and we go to Rapidash. Whew. Alright. Rapidash comes into the Fake Out. Nice. Alright. And now we Stomp. There we go. Flint would be great, but we don't need it. Rock Smash, that's fine. Defense Drop, yep, that's what we expect. It always gets the Defense Drop. Alright. Now we can't Stomp again. We just need to go to Saja Boy, take another Rock Smash, and then we always kill with Aerial Ace. Okay, we're going to tank this Rock Smash, so we're going to get a Defense Drop. It's fine. Alright, there we go. And we outspeed barely. And that always kills at that range because of the damage that Ponyta did with Stomp. Every range was good there. Now, we've got Execute coming out. Execute shouldn't see a kill because it can only see that it can do 10 damage. Actually, we've taken pretty good damage so far. I think it's going to go, because it doesn't see a kill with Confusion, I'm sure that it's going to go for setup. So I think we always go to Amon here. So it's going to go for Stun Spore or Leech Seed, which will not work against Amon. There we go. Then we use Bug Bite to eat the Oranberry after the Confusion. Okay, just fight through Confusion, you've got this. Please, please, please. Super effective, one shot, and we ate the berry. Just to rub it in their face. There we go. A beautiful run to the first boss. There we go. There we go. Everything's going great. Thanks for trying to help. What's your name? There we go. I need to retrieve the stolen package for me. I'm sure Mr. Stone, the president of my company, would reward you. Something about Slateport? Yeah. So now we go to Slateport, but for now, every time that happens, it scares me. I know that we can't... Okay, we have to avoid the grass, because that could be bad. I have such bad flashbacks to survive the poisoning, the poison faded away, yeah. Every time that happens, I have flashbacks to Fire Red, where I think in Fire Red you could still die to poison. Or maybe that was just a Gen 1. I never remember if it had it in Fire Red. I think it did, because I know that I've lost Pokemon like that. Alright, everybody's healed. We've got a couple more encounters, so I think we're going to save here, take a look at what we're going to do in Petalburg Woods. And we've also got a level cap increase. So let's try and get to, what's the next town? Or no, we can't go to Petalburg Woods yet. I forget that we can't do... Petalburg Woods isn't... We get to make our way over to Dewford. That's our next... Right. Alright. Let's go deal with that. What is it? You need to get to Slateport. I can bring you there, but ask you a favor in turn. I just came back from Rustboro, where I had a meeting with Mr. Stone. Deliver the lever. Yeah. We gotta go to the cave first, so that we can get to Slateport, so that we can do all the things. All the things in the correct order. Put away the letter. Dewford it is. Let's go. And we get a couple new encounters there. Yeah, and these ones can actually be exciting and good. So, now, if I remember correctly, I don't think that there's any, like, repel manipulations in this game, which I kind of appreciate. It can always be fun if you're trying to encounter a route, but it also can take a lot of time to, like, try and figure out what the correct repel is, and, like, I think it's fun in the base games, just because there isn't, like, much encounter routing, but in, like, a game like this that already has so much, yeah, there's no repel manipulations, so what we get is what we get. Alright. Let's check in here, and then let's get our Pokemon. It's mostly fighting types here in Dewford. I'm not sure what, like, would be the best. Like, I don't think Tyrogue is very good. Unless we happen to get a Tyrogue with, like, equal, what is it, defense and attack, because then we get a Hitmontop, but I think Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan aren't very good. Generally. I know our Hitmonlee did pretty well in our last run, but I don't think they're the preferred one. Like, I think a Hariyama with, like, Guts, like, that would be awesome. That would be so cool. You know what? Maybe I can wish it into existence. Let me double check, though. How many Pokeballs? No, I've got a ton. I bought a bunch of Pokeballs. So let's do that. Let's get our... There's no reason to delay Dewford encounter. Yeah. Okay, something good, something good. Alright. Come on. Hariyama with Guts, Hariyama with Guts. Metatite. Not too bad. Because there are Megas in this game, Mega Medicham might be useful at some point. I don't know where the Mega Stone for that is. We'll see about that. Either way, not too bad. Let's just see how much damage I'm doing to this Metatite. I should have leveled up, probably. Let's assume that it has terrible special defense and terrible HP, so what would be the max roll that I could crit at? It would be 13 plus 7 is 20, which almost kills it, but shouldn't. So if we absorb once, that should help with catching, and should not have any chance to kill. And it's fast. I know Turtwig is slow, but still. Alright. I'm not going to risk hurting it any more than that. We've got plenty of Pokeballs to throw. Nice. Alright. Metatite caught. Let's check this thing's stats. There we go. And nickname. If anybody in chat wants to be named after a Metatite, now's your chance. Otherwise, I'm going to try and take a second to come up with a good name here. Oh. What? Let's see. Right, meditation Pokemon, I assume, at least. What would be a good name for you? Herm. We've got... Oh, what... I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Huh. I have nothing for meditation. I'm really trying to... I'm just... like, usually I can come up with some kind of pun. Here, let me look up the Metacham. Because sometimes just looking up, like, the Pokedex entry helps me think. Let's see. Metacham is set in meditation, heightens energy. It is the, what? Meditate Pokemon? Yeah, I assumed. To see the aura... Let's see it. Elegantly avoids, dance, spiritual power, can sense what others are thinking. Right. Right, I guess psychic fighting, yeah. Tracks, but... I don't know, it's a little psychic who wants to learn karate. We're just gonna go with Anya from Spy Family, if it can read other people's minds. I can't think of anything better than that. There we go. We're going with that, because we're drawing a blank. Alright. Yeah, not bad. Let's heal up real quick, and then get our encounter in the sea. Because we can... I think we can just barely get to, like, Route 107. Let's see, 104, what did we get? Perfect. So, we haven't gotten anything from, what, 106 or 107. And we've got our Dewford encounter. What do we get for Dewford? We got Metatite. Perfect. Alright. So let's check. Let's get our... Is there a difference between between 106 and 107, which one we should do first? Because I know 106 is, like, right here. Yeah, 106 and 107 is right on the other side of Dewford. So let's double check the, here, if I can bring up Pokemon locations. Let's see. Is it better to get either one first? We've got 107 and 106 right here. So we've got literally no overlap. So no, it literally doesn't matter which one we get first. Okay, well that makes that easy. Alright, 107. A bite, perfect. Alright. Ooh, another horsey. There we go. Horsey, I like Seadra and Kingdra a whole bunch. They can be quite good. I know I recently did some competitive Pokemon that I used. Not of my own choice, I just copied Wolfie DTC's team, but I did get to use the Paris Trap team, and Seadra is surprisingly good in the rain. All right. How much damage can we do to this thing without killing it? Bite should do 14 plus 7 is 21. A bite crit will never kill, even if it has minimum stats. Sweet. Bubble. Love to see it. Okay. Pokeball's time. Now we've got to think of a name for Horsey. Nom the fish. I don't want to nom the fish too much. That would be bad. There we go. Perfect, perfect. Now the dragon Pokemon, Horsey. Yep. So captured Horsey? Yes. What do we want to call you? Let's see. I know Horsey is going to eventually be another sea dragon. Oh, what's a good name? For you. Have any? I'm trying to think of a good name for Horsey. If anybody wants to be named after in chat, see ya. You haven't been named after a Pokemon yet. I know if you don't want Horsey, that's fine. I know we've still got a bunch of Pokemon coming up, but you're always more than welcome. Oh, otherwise, I'm probably leaning towards. I don't know. What's a good thing? It could be Horsey if naming too tough. No, I was just reminding you if you're not like on top of that. I've got names. The things that I'm going for, I'm just thinking of like Greek or like Chinese dragons now. I know Longma is a type of Chinese dragon that we could go for, and Cetus is a Greek one. Which of those two sounds better? Fishy? I feel like fishy has to be an actual fish. I think seahorse is too much of a it's going to be too much of a not fish to be fishy. We can save fishy for a fish, which we have a very good chance of getting at our next encounter. I think we did Longma before. Horsey? Or we could fully lean into it being a horse. I like Horsey. I think it's more horse than fish, and I think that keeps on with the same idea that Mixie had. I like that. There we go. Especially because at some point it will no longer... It'll be like Seadra, and then it will be named Horsey. I like that. Alright. Let's heal up and then go get our Filet-O-Fish. No. We do not want, at any point, Horsey to be a Filet-O-Fish. No, thank you. Yummy. No. No, don't do it. I have just noticed something weird. But I'm gonna have to... I just realized I haven't had chat this whole time. One sec. Chat should be on screen. I don't know how that got destroyed, but... Whoops. There we go. Alright, let's get on to route... Are we on 106? Where... I didn't see... Okay, yeah. This is Route 106, okay. Let's go. Catch one more Pokemon, and then we've got a whole bunch of Pokemon to deal with the next couple of guys with. Spheal! Yes! I love Spheal so much. I'm so happy about that. I don't even know if Spheal's good. I think Choodle might be better. I love Spheal. My day is happy, and I am great. Alright. Level 8 Spheal. How much damage are we doing? Bite, if it's got no HP, defense, or special defense. Once again, Bite will not crit kill. But might flinch, which would be great. Growl. No, that's fine. Alright. And now you get in the Pokeball. Come on, Spheal. I am so happy about seeing you. Please just be happy to come along. Spheal was so happy to come along. Spheal came and went on our journey immediately. Perfect. Oh yeah, and we're actually getting XP now. I forgot we've got the level cap. Alright, give a nickname to Spheal. See ya. Quick question for you. Can I take him? Yes. I was gonna say, I feel like of all of the Pokemon we could have gotten, Spheal is probably up there on your list of Pokemon. Would you prefer just like Ciasaur? In what form would you prefer your name on this Pokemon? Spheasaur. There we go. It's perfect. I remember you spent so much time 3D modeling the Spheal. And it fits perfectly. It's glorious. Alright. And Spheal is actually kind of great. Like, Ice Water is very useful. Alright. Let's heal up and save. Because we're not losing these Pokemon. Okay. Saving ASAP. Okay, perfect. And then let's export that. Perfect. And then let's get our whole team into the box. And then we can deal with what's next. Okay, let's move to this. Oops, no, we don't need that open right now. There we go. Next up, we've got Fisherman. This is on just outside of Dewford. We've got all the stuff going into the ruins to give our stuff to Steven. And then we don't have anything in the ruins. It's just waiting outside. So first we've got this to deal with. What's our level cap now? 17 or 16? I think it's 16. Yeah, 16 is our level cap. So we've got plenty of levels to work with here. Staryu. Staryu's got Aurora Beam, which is a little scary. but I know we get kind of a lot here. You know what? I think it's not worth it to like start going through all of this without leveling up some of our Pokemon. I think every Pokemon on our team. Let's see, who is the least likely to be helpful in the upcoming whatever. Let's see. What do we got? We've got a water type. Yeah, we've got a lot of water types coming up, so I think, Mixie, we're gonna have to leave you behind for a minute. And same with you, Haru. I think Spheosaur, Horsey, and Anya all get added, and then I think it didn't look like Paris was doing too much, so we're just gonna take you out and withdraw Anya, because Anya's gonna be useful. So let's level all of these guys up. Well, let's check everybody's level up. Is there any like nonsense that we're missing out on by leveling up? Let's check. First Turtwig. We evolve at level 16, and we get a bunch of good moves. So I'm not worried about that. We'll level Turtwig up. Then we've got Metatite. I assume that level up's a good deal higher. Yeah, level 34. We'll have Detect, which could be nice. Endure Seismic Toss is good. Good fighting move. And it's got Confusion for psychic moves. Alright. Next up, what else do we get? We've got Horsey. Horsey doesn't evolve till level 20. So we've got a ways for that. Ooh, I should check. Does it have Sniper? It's Oblivious. I don't know if I believe you, game. No, it's got Swift Swim. Oops. Nope. Wonder, that's unfortunate that that's not input correctly. Yeah. I think it's got Oblivious if it doesn't know what it has. Alright. Let's try saving again and seeing if it... If I save again, let's see if I port it over, if they're like in my party, if it does a better job. Let's see. Who else does it say it is oblivious? Everybody else it's correct about. It's just got oblivious on these two. Here, let me just try running the file again from scratch. No? Why does it say they're oblivious? Especially the Horsey. Control V. Sfeel is oblivious, yeah, but it says Horsey is Swift Swim right here. Weird. Alright, I'll have to figure that out later. Either way, it's probably not gonna come up for a while. So, let's level all these guys up. Oh wait, that's what I was checking. Horsey doesn't get... There's no reason to not level up right now. Yeah. To level 16, we're good. Horsey might not actually be very useful, just because it doesn't get Bubble Beam here. Yeah, Horsey actually looks like... Horsey's not going to be useful. So we're actually going to leave Horsey in the box and get somebody else out. Nope, that's not the right. Someone's PC? Yeah. Deposit Pokemon. You're actually being deposited, and who do we want out? Probably. I think probably our most helpful person to have is Haru, because Haru, we're going to need a fire type at some point. I don't know if it'll be now, but... Alright, and then let's get everybody up to the level cap. Starting with Gaia. Perfect. Wants to learn Razor Leaf? Yeah. Razor Leaf is definitely being learned. Growl? Growl's just not good enough. Perfect. We got Razor Leaf. We've got one, and then we're going to level up to here. There we go. First evolution. There we go. Always happy. Always a good thing. Gaia evolved into Grottle. Perfect. Shares a secret with the foe, lowering special attack. I think only lowering a little bit. Confide isn't that good. I think once we get, like, sharply lowering, that's when it becomes worth it, but I don't think that's better than Bite. Right? We don't have any other good dark types at the moment, so I'd rather have the coverage. Cool. 17's our level cap. That's actually huge. There was somebody that had something happen at level 17. Who was it? Horsey? Okay, no, Horsey is useful. Horsey does learn Bubble Beam. Well, that's fine. Either way. Wants to learn Poison Tail? Yeah, you can definitely learn Poison Tail. Let's check. Because Mitz, you had, once again, a lower attack than you have special attack, but not by much. It's like 1 point difference, and Poison Tail is better than Acid. Has a high critical hit ratio and may poison, and this just may lower defense. No, I think Poison Tail's better than Acid. Alright, perfect. Everybody leveled up. Perfect. Saja Boy, okay. This is a big one, because our Starly, I think, is immediately going to become at level 14. Okay, yeah, no, there's no reason to delay the evolution. Because it's going to learn the same move at level 16. Yeah, Saja Boy is evolving, perfect. Is that correct? Starly is going to turn into a Staravia, and a Staravia is going to learn Endeavor at 16, which is still in our level cap. So, yep. There we go. Perfect. And now we should have Intimidate on that thing, which is huge. There we go, Endeavor. Which one does Endeavor do? Is it Endeavor sets opponent's HP, gains power if the user's HP is lower than the foe's HP. Oh, I'm thinking of... Wait, no. Well, I think Endeavor's still better than... Yeah, Tackle. Tackle isn't helpful. We've got Quick Attack. They did change that, yeah. I was gonna say, that's not what Endeavor does. But I'll take it. I'm gonna have to double check the documentation for exactly how it works now. Ice Ball? Ice Ball sounds very good. Okay, Spheosaur, yeah, what moves do you have? Powder Snow, may cause freezing. A 5-turn attack gains power on successive... Okay, Ice Ball is just Ice-type rollout, which we also have, which I think is better than Growl. So we're gonna get rid of Growl there, but we're probably gonna get rid of Ice Ball pretty quickly. Rollout is and Ice Ball both are very situationally useful. Wants to learn the move Charm. Oh, Charm is one of the weird ones, isn't it? I always forget what it does. Charms the show and sharply reduces attack. That feels really good. Okay, feels a physical attacker, right? No, Spheal... What does Spheal evolve into again? I always forget. Isn't it Walrein? Ice Ball to E4. Let's hope. What is Spheal's evolution? I want to say it's like Walrein, but I don't... Oh wait, I see why it's not working. It's because I'm only using imported sets. Walrein? Yeah. Walrein is a special attacker over a physical attacker. Okay. That's good to know. I really just think that Ice Ball isn't going to be useful. Charm just seems so useful. Right? Dropping something's attack by 2 is so good. Oh, I have to keep Charm over Ice Ball. I'm sorry. Ice Ball to E4, the dream is immediately dead. Water-type move at level 17? Brine, nice. I think Brine is, like, great, isn't it? Yeah, Brine is 65. Does double damage to foes with half HP. I think that might be better than Water Gun. Oh, Spheosaur, you are doing great. Alright. Anya, learn Detect, perfect. Go, wants to learn Endure. I don't think Endure is good. Endures any attack for 1 turn, leaving at least 1 HP. Like, can we detect, endure, stall? Is that a real thing? Because if we can do that, then this thing can become the ultimate Stallmon as a backup to whatever it actually is. Is that better than Bide? I think so. Does that work? Is that a real thing? Let me... They both run on the same counter. No. Yeah, like, Protect and Detect run on the same counter, so you can't just, like, switch between those two. And Endure runs on the same counter as well. Alright, well that makes it easy not to take Endure then, because then Detect is just better. And Bide has uses, and then if you can't, like, juggle Detect Endure, then Endure isn't good. Not on Anya, at least. I think there's another move we get anyways that's going to be good. Yeah, Seismic Toss. Inflicts damage identical to the user's level. So it's going to be 17 for now. Is that worth it? I feel like no. I feel like it's never worth it to do your level in damage. Right? The damage, so at level... Yeah. That just feels really bad. Like, Rock Smash will always be... almost always do more than 17. Bide has uses, and even Confusion can do decent. I think that Seismic Toss is really bad, no? I feel like any time that it's good, and lots of other moves would be better. For bulky Pokemon, I guess. Is it better than Rock Smash and Bide, though? Like, if it's bulky and we're able to sit in front of it for long enough for Seismic Toss to matter, wouldn't Bide be better? I just don't think that there's any moment where Seismic Toss is really going to be really good. But also Bide is not good either. You know what? Let's take a look, because we've got this Munchlax coming up. What? And it's probably going to be our Meditite out front. So let's say, Meditite, you are level 17. Can you... Right? Rock Smash, and let's say that you had Seismic Toss. Yeah, Seismic Toss just isn't doing much damage. That's the only time that I'm like thinking like, oh, that could be... Well, I say that, and then I immediately look at Mawile, and Seismic Toss is doing damage. Except, at level 17... Haru must be doing more. Yeah. I don't think there's... Munchlax is high HP, that's true. We need, like, low HP defensive Pokemon. But I just don't think... I think that it really just dependent on that. Yeah. Endures the attack for 2 turns... to retaliate double. We do double damage back, so if we can ever set up a thing where we bide, if we're like faster and we bide and then we take damage and then we take damage and then we deal double whatever damage they did back, that just feels more likely to come up than Seismic Toss, I think. I see that Seismic Toss can absolutely be useful, but I just don't think the situation is going to come up enough. That is probably of all of the moves that I've like had to deliberate on, that's probably the most I've had to deliberate on a move, because I can absolutely see times where that's useful. True Bide could trivialize fights if possible. Right, there are certain fights where like Bide is great. Right, if we're guaranteed to survive 2 hits, Bide probably just kills. Alright, Flame Whip, or Flame Wheel. And that's a physical fire move on Ponyta here, or Haru Arurara. I should not have chosen that name just because it's so hard to pronounce, but also, that's funny. Growl reduces attack, Wag lowers exposed defense. I think that lowering the defense is just not very good. I think lowering attack can be good. So we're going to get rid of Tail Whip. Right, Haru is not going to be sticking on the field for very long in front of something that can deal lots of damage to it. Wants to learn Fire Spin. Ooh, Fire Spin could actually be good. Alright, is Fire Spin better than Ember? Yes. Because Ember, Flame Wheel is almost always better than Ember, and then Fire Spin can trap. So I think Fire Spin's just better than Ember. Alright. There we go. Let's save here and see what does this gaggle of Pokemon look like against the upcoming fights. Alright, you're gonna move to the trash, and you're going to move to the trash. Because you evolved. Alright. What does this fight look like now? Alright, so we've got right away Groddle. Wins this fight. Groddle wins this fight so hard. And then if we really wanted to get fancy with it, Staravia could come into Lombre just to... Well, Aerial Ace only might one-shot. See, Flame Wheel... No. Yeah, no, I think Groddle just sits there, kills everything with one... What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 Razor Leafs, and we win. How much damage do we take? We're outsped by this, so Aurora Beam could do 18. We're outsped here, so 18 plus 26. What's 18 plus 26? That's 24 plus 20, so that's 44 damage, so that puts us at 9. Assuming max rolls, and then we're outsped. And then Peck will kill us. But literally everything can kill this Arrokuda. So we don't have to worry about that at all. So we just Groddle and then Staravia for the first fight. This fight's going to be hard, but our first fight is easy. We win this fight with 2 Pokemon. And everybody else is backup. Alright. Let's watch this happen. Alright, buddy. Fishing the sea or a stream? I like fishing in a stream better. Alright, let's see. We've got this fully worked out. Razor Leaf, Aurora Beam. There we go, lots of damage, that's fine. No freeze, perfect. And we one-shot, perfect. Staryu's dead, that's what we expected. We're down to 35. Is that where we expected to be? Roughly. Seismic Toss is going to do 26 over the next 2 turns, which will put us at 9. So yeah, we got high rolled, but that's fine. Teeter Dance. Oh, Confusion, yep. That's something. Is Confused Breakthrough Confusion? Yeah, I probably should have given him Confusion Berry. This fight would have been 100% if I did. Well, that's actually fine, because we didn't get hit by Seismic Toss and we didn't hurt ourselves in Confusion for a turn. if we got a free turn here, so we can even hit ourselves in confusion and be fine, and we don't. So that's just, you know, extra. We're winning it too much. All right, now we've got the Aracuda coming out. Peck is going to deal 14 damage. With flying, is that accounting the flying gem? Yes. So this flying gem Aracuda is going to use Peck and deal 14 damage to us. We've got shell armor, so we can't be crit. So that's going to put us at, what, 6, 7, 8? How much does... I think Confusion will kill us. So we're going to switch out into the Staravia. Give it a defense or an attack drop with Intimidate. We've got to... Having an Intimidate mon this early on is, like, stupidly good. There we go. Just not going to do anything. Alright, and then Aerial Ace Quick Attack should kill. Laser Focus, that's terrifying. What is that? Concentrated Intensely, I assume that's higher crit chance, but we're going to Quick Attack, and we've got the speed advantage, so it doesn't matter. Even though that thing had Aqua Jet, that's still on the same priority level, and we were faster, so easy fight. Alrighty. Perfect. Let's go. Nice, nice. Absolutely. I think we're going to do one more fight and then get our encounter, and then we're going to leave the beach and the slate port for next time. I might be able to... I think I should be able to stream tomorrow. We'll see about that. But I might have... I think I've got all my homework done, but I've also got a D&D event to run on Friday, but I also have all of Friday free, so I should be fine on that front. We'll see about streaming tomorrow. If I do, it'll be roughly about the same time, starting at, like, I want to say 6. We'll say 6, or 6 Central Time. That's the goal. I'd love to get... oh my god, triple Simply stream. I know. I would love to do this as often as possible. I just have been so busy for, like, the first 2 weeks of school starting, because I was front-loaded with, like, club stuff. I had to do all of the finances and all of that. Have, like, a proper bank account for the club, because the D&D club at the University of Minnesota is huge. I think we had, like, for our very first event, this was partly my fault, because I said that we were going to provide canes, which is, for people who don't live in the Midwest here, it's like kind of like a KFC, but better. That was, not really, but kinda. And we were providing food, and it was our, like, huge event. I think we had, like, 80 people's worth of canes eaten in about 30 minutes into the event. Which was, and it was a 3-hour event that we were putting on, and we had 3 people running it, or 4 people, sorry, 4 people running it. That was a lot. It was briefly a fire hazard. We had to commandeer an extra room because there were too many people in our room. So yeah, I was busy, but now I'm not. That was the moral of the story. All right, let's have a look at how this next fight is going to go. Alright, so we start off with this Dwebble. I would love to kill this Dwebble. So hard. Spheal. Spheal might do it, but Spheal doesn't outspeed. The thing is, this thing always tries to go for Sticky Web turn 1. I really don't want Sticky Web out, because Sticky Web makes Munchlax Belly Drum Headbutt insane. Because this Munchlax is going to get the Belly Drum off and then be insane with the Headbutt. Right? And nothing we have kills Munchlax. Not Rock Smash. We could try and eat the berry with Bug Bite, but I think we're going to be slower than the Munchlax because because of the sticky webs, and I don't think we have a way to stop it from getting sticky webs up. Ooh, actually, Oblivious. How does that work again? Doesn't Oblivious ignore stats? It makes the Pokemon immune to... No, that's the one that... Oblivious would have been helpful a minute ago. Oh, what's the... Unaware is what I wanted. Is that what I'm thinking of? Ignores any stat changes. And the ability of the foe. Yeah. Alright, this thing's also got weak armor. So Dwebble... Dwebble is such a... This is a weird Pokemon. Alright. What is it? Bug Rock? We need, like, a water type? What if we got you to level 17 and gave you Bubble Beam? Could you do it then? Do you outspeed? Oh, come on. Horsey... If we get Horsey in, Horsey is speed tying with that Dwebble. That's bad. What about if we had level Skrelp? You can't deal enough damage? No, you can't. Alright. Well, I think our best bet then is to go grab Horsey, level Horsey up to level 17, have it have Bubble Beam, and try and win the speed tie, because never... Okay, then what will come out? You can't outspeed kill. You take... It always... All of the rest of these take more damage than they deal, so it'll definitely be the Munchlax comes out into Horsey. Then it tries to use Belly Drum, and we what? So he gets Belly Drum, and it gets its berry. So it's fast. Is it +1 or +2? I assume it's +2. Raises speed. Boosted. I think it's not sharply boosted, so it should just be by 1. So it'll have 16 speed. It'll have 31 health. Can we do 50% damage and outspeed it? Can we always... Do we have something that can always do 50% damage and outspeed? We need a guaranteed 50. Rock Smash. But Rock Smash... Okay. Here's the plan. We go out. So, we lead with Horsey, and we need... Even if we're -1 speed, we Metatite outspeeds. So no matter how turn 1 goes, whether it gets the sticky web up or not, our Metatite will switch into the Munchlax will Belly Drum, and then we outspeed and deal 50% of its damage with Rock Smash. Alright, Metatite makes this fight doable. Alright. And then after that, how do we deal with everybody else? Is anybody else even scary? No. Ponyta kills the Mawile. Grotle kills the Sandygast. So literally none of the rest of this fight is scary at all. It's literally just Dwebble into Munchlax. And we need to be able to outspeed kill, we need Horsey at level 17. Okay, well that's a good plan, and that luckily our Pokemon allow us to easily do this. So let's deposit Pokemon. Who don't we need here? Paris is going to be bad. Who do we have on our team that's bad? Skrelp. Skrelp, we don't need you right now. You are unhelpful. Alright. Let's get you leveled up. Alright, while I'm leveling up, anybody see any terrible flaws in my plan? There we go. Twister, that's fine. Probably. What's... Yes, Bubble Beam. Bubble... I think Bubble Beam is just a better bubble. Yeah. Probably perfect. Alright. We'll take it. Bubble Beam. Okay. Let's see, do we need any, or even want any berries on anybody? I don't think berries help anybody at any point here. Not any of the berries we have, at least. Like... No, don't let this Sandygast get in front of the Horsey. For sure. No, wait, this isn't even the right Horsey. Yeah. No, this is... We're literally fine. Everything's great. Horsey out front. Horsey outspeeds, speed ties and kills the Dwebble. Then we switch to Meditite. And Meditite Rock Smash kills the Munchlax once it goes for Belly Drum. And everything's great. And we save. And then we port it over. And then we're good. There we go. Oh, that speed tie is scary. It's fine. It really shouldn't matter. Even though it's scary, it literally doesn't make a difference. Alright. Moment of truth. If we can make it past this guy with 0 deaths, that will have been the best we've done up to this point. And once again, I cannot help myself but jinx every battle. Let's do this. Alright. Perfect. Dwebble. Dwebble comes out and gets bubble beamed, and it's faster. Shoot. Or it wins the speed tie. Alright. Whoops. That's alright. We knew that was a possibility. It was a 50-50, and we are prepared for this as an eventuality. Munchlax is so naturally slow that it will not matter. Alright, we do not do 50% damage here to the Munchlax with Horsey. So, Anya comes out. Was caught in a sticky web. Drop our speed. The speed of the foe Munchlax rose. That is what we expected, and even at +1 and -1 speed respectively, we outspeed and kill. Oh, I'm so glad that everything I knew I knew that that was 100% guaranteed. Except I just was scared that like one of those would be like sharply decreased speed or sharply increased speed. I checked and it shouldn't have, but still glad that it didn't. All right. Um. Now I think we just go into Ponita to flame wheel this thing to death. And Haru doesn't take hardly any damage here. We're gonna make this fight look easy. This is like one of the hardest early game fights, and we're making it look just fine. There we go. Haru's gonna use Covet, but we don't have any items. Mawa sprite is so cute. Mawa is like one of my... I know I say this like all the time, but genuinely it is like a top tier Pokemon for me. One of my favorites. Flame Body. Ooh, that's probably gonna kill the Mawile, no? Oh, leftovers, no. Does the burn outpace the leftovers? No. There we go, super dead. And then out comes the Sandygast, which is going to try and bulldoze, but we're going to switch to Grottle. Perfect. There we go. Nope, we switch out. Sticky Web, that's fine. It's gonna go for Bulldoze because it saw the kill. Perfect. That's fine. Ooh, that's 2 speed drops, so we're probably slower here, but I think... Do we always kill... No, we have to go for Razor Leaf. Because Razor Leaf might kill. And then Hypnosis, that's fine. We're gonna fall asleep, but we can't be... This thing can't hardly damage us. So we're just gonna sit here, take damage, and kill it as soon as... Oh, 1 turn Wake Up, wow. We didn't need that right now. But I'll take it. Hypnosis again. Yeah. Alright. Here, second 1 turn Wake Up when we don't need it. Of course, right now. We can't. Could we get a 1 turn Wake Up when we actually need it to like save Amon's life? No. Gaia killing some random pile of sand, locked all the way in. That's hilarious. Alrighty. Well, let's go heal, get our Pokemon in this cave, and figure out what we're doing. Nope, that's the gym. Alright, now we've got to check what part of this cave we actually want to get our encounter in. So, let me bring this up. Okay. We've got Granite Cave. All of this is 1 encounter. Last time we accidentally did it, I did it as 2 because I was confused, but that would be incorrect to do again, especially now that I know that that's not what you're supposed to do. Although the Pokemon that we got like extra out of it, that being the Amora, didn't end up being very good, and I don't think most of these are very good. Like, some of these are pretty good, but we've already got a good ground type in Grottle eventually, or at least ground coverage. And I think that like these guys, like Hatena, Gligar would be great. I'd love to get a Gligar. But like even like Magnemite, Gligar's pretty likely. We've already got our Meditite, so that would just be a re-roll. Some of these aren't great. Like Abra would be fine again. Drowsy, I would prefer not. but I think that we've got a pretty good chance of getting something in Steven's room, so I think we're going to turn on the repel all the way till Steven's room. Also, if I remember correctly, we can talk to some like random guy here, and he's going to give us a silk scarf. Wow, I can't believe I remembered exactly the right guy first try. Perfect. I don't know when that might be useful, but we're going to have it for whenever that happens. Yeah, it's fine. It doesn't matter who's out first. We've got the repellent. Did I put the repellent on? Repellent is deactivated, so I did have it on. Whoops. I immediately forgot. I did it, and then it was out of my brain. Hi, what's... So you ought to be alright, but, well, for us hikers, yeah. Pass this on to you. There's a power... Blast of light. Okay. Flash. Sure. Alright, we've got escape rope. Sure. Well, now we've got flash, which is nice. Rock blast, cool. I don't know if that's going to be useful, but if we get something that can, like, make use of those kind of moves, can't hurt. Alright. Just going to the bottom of Granite Cave and then getting our encounter. Something good. There are plenty of good things. Just something good. Never melt ice. Nice. Alright. Up. And up. Back down. There we go. This should be Steven's room. Hi, Steven. So travel here and there. Oh, a letter for me? Yep, you get a letter. You went through all this trouble, so have this technical. TM. Obstacles and lowers evasion. What is that? Well, I never remember the name of that one. What is that? Clear smog? Haze? One of those. Alright, now let's turn off the repellent now that we're in Steven's room, because this one has the best Pokemon. Let's catch something good, something good, something good, something good, something good. Alright, here we go. Something good. Hatena! Hatena can be pretty good. That's, oh, I always forget the name. That's actually a pretty good Psychic type. Really slow, like turbo slow, but other than that, like fantastic stats. Hatterene, that's what it turns into. I'm not going to be sad about that even a little bit. Oh, I had Horsey out front. I shouldn't have that. Whoops. That shouldn't matter though. I think we can use Twister here and always not KO. Is that true? Yes. Alright, so we use Twister here. Shouldn't KO. I'm like double and triple checking if that's true. It really should be. Yep. Flinch, nice. Now we just throw Pokeballs. Life Dew? Cool. That's actually a pretty good move, just healing if we ever have a chance to, like, in the middle of a battle. I know, I'm really hoping that as well. Now that you've said that, why did you have to put that out into the world, Sia? Used Confusion. Do I Twister again? I feel like Twister did a lot of damage, so it probably doesn't have great IVs. It could do max roll crit of 16 plus 8, 24. A max roll crit, if this thing's got no IVs, could kill it. So I'm going to hope that it life dews it. I'm just going to throw Pokeballs again. I'm not going to Twister again. Okay, we caught it. Ugh. Gabe isn't reading chat, thankfully. I think luckily, I think the chat was kind of hidden behind the screen, so we're gonna say that it couldn't see it because it was just behind the screen. There we go. I fixed it now. I don't know how my chat got messed up on the screen. Whatever, it's fixed now, mostly. Captured Hatena, what do we want to name this thing? Hatterene's one of those, like, scary ghost Pokemon, if you look at its... Pokedex entry, isn't it? What are its... It emits Psychic Power strong, it causes headaches as a deterrent. If you're too loud around it, you risk being torn apart by its claws or its tentacle. Also known as the Forest Witch. It's just a witch in the forest. And it just is real angry. Is there, like, a famous witch? Galadriel? I like Galadriel. Unless anybody else in chat wants to be named after. I know Galadriel's, like... I don't know, I think that's cool. Like, that makes it not necessarily an evil witch, but also a very powerful one. I think that's... I like that. Unless anybody else in chat has a better idea. Alright. Galadriel it is. Yeah, I like it. I would think I end up watching, like, Lord of the Rings, like, once a year. Is that how you spell Galadriel? I think it is. Yep. Oh, excuse me, I had to sneeze. Alright, perfect. Thank you. Alright, now we're gonna turn back on the repellent and get back to Poke Center and then save. I'm gonna save right now just because I again, after everything having crashed earlier, we managed to save, like, right before it, so it didn't end up being too bad, but I don't want that to be a problem. So we're just gonna be extra redundant with our saves. There we go. There we go. Made it all the way through Granite Cave. Honestly, this run, like, I know that, like, every run has kind of been better than the last one. Ooh, I bet, is there an item over here? Oh, come on. Haha, I knew that somebody would hide an item right there. I would have done that. Now I'm just gonna check along here, because I'd also have hidden one in just, like, a random spot along here. But I might be meaner than the developers. But the developers are pretty mean. Dexa... You've seen the fights that Dexa's made. I do not trust them. Not even a little. Alright, let's heal up, save up, and get ready for next time. I think we made a ton of progress today. I wasn't sure if we'd get all the way through that Munchlax fight, but I think we're 100% ready to get to Slate like through Slateport next time. Hopefully tomorrow. Um, if not tomorrow, it might end up being like on the weekend later at some point. But either way, thank you all very much for showing up. I appreciate it a whole bunch. Did I save? Yeah, I think I saved. And I will catch you all next time. Bye!